What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are back with the Big Ten talk, man. We're back with the college football talk, so let's get it started. Welcome in, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here, and yes, we're back. Now, you guys supported the heck out of our Joe Milton versus Dylan McCaffrey video, so I'm going to be bringing you guys another college football type of video. And if you guys want to see more of these, make sure you support this video, man, because I do enjoy doing these, and I really want to get into college football more this season. So I think these are going to be really fun to do. Obviously, I'm a Michigan fan, but because you guys supported the heck out of that video, many of you guys were Michigan State fans, we're also going to be keeping up to date with other Big Ten teams. Now, I'm sure there's a couple of outliers that are like, hey, I'm a Georgia fan, or I don't know, I couldn't think of it. Wake Forest. Maybe you like Wake Forest. Hey, if you like Wake Forest, I'm not mad at you. That's just different. So comment right now who your favorite college basketball and college football team is. Your favorite college basketball team better not be Duke, and your favorite college football team better not be Bama. Like, bro, it's okay if there's one of them, but not both. Don't have both. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, man, let's just hop right into this thing, man. Let's look at these playoff odds for the 14 Big Ten teams. Yes, I know it's Big Ten, but it's 14. So, yes, we're going to be reacting to this, man. Yeah, I've looked over him a little bit. I feel like I'm not too mad about him, but we got a few things to talk about. Keep in mind, guys, when we do get into this, I don't know as much about college football or the Big Ten as I do the NFC North. Like, for me, I know a lot more about the NFL than I do about college football. I don't know everything, but I just know a lot more, especially about the North. Well, one reason is because there's only 4 teams compared to 14, but another reason is I just follow it more. I just follow it more. So just keep that in mind. You know, I'm not going to know everything. So if you guys, follow college football heavy and you know something I don't, put it in the comment section below. Maybe if there's a point about one of these teams, you think this team's going to be better because of this reason, put it in the comment section because you probably know more than me at that point. So I'll just point that out. But I feel like I have a pretty good general knowledge of these teams, so I should be okay. Let's get this thing started. So let's start off at the very top. The team with the best playoff odds of the 14 Big Ten teams is Ohio State. Yeah, I know. We're not going to spend too much time on this. Okay, I get there's probably some Ohio State fans. Look, I'll keep you all up to date, but dog, I ain't going to make your own video. I'm sorry, dog. I just don't like Ohio State. I just really don't. But I do respect that they have the highest odds. I think it just makes sense they have the best odds to make the playoffs. I mean, I really can't argue with this. They've been the best team the last couple of years in the Big Ten. Well, they've been the best team in the Big Ten for a while, right? So, because of that, I really can't argue with this, dude. I mean, yes, they lost Peace. They lost, their Chase Youngs. They lost their Okudas. They lost their Malik Harrisons. But at the end of the day, they are Ohio State, and they will have really good recruits stepping in. They have one of their top cornerbacks coming back, Sean Wade. They have Justin Fields in year 2. That definitely can help with Ryan Day. I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. I'm interested to see how Ryan Day does once Urban Meyer's kind of like players are kind of all gone. How he recruits players, but I feel like it's not going to have much of a drop off, if any, because Ohio State, man. If you continue to keep winning and winning, players are just going to continue to want to go there and go there. So that's the thing about college football, man. You got to get successful to keep building upon that, and that's why we see, I think, a lot of times the same teams really successful until you can break through. It's going to be really tough to get some of the top recruits, and Ohio State gets them constantly. So I can't argue with this. Ohio State with the best odds makes sense. Let's get into the second team, who is Penn State with 7-1 odds. Okay, this one's interesting. Penn State has won 11 games at least 3 of their last 4 years. So I think it's fair that Penn State is here. Penn State, they lost KJ Hamler this offseason, which is obviously kind of a tough loss, but they do have 4 returning starting offensive linemen. Sorry, I got some notes here, bro. I got some notes here because I can't remember it all on the top of my head. I'm sorry. There's a lot to this. But they do have 4 returning starting offensive linemen. They hired 2 new coaches. They hired an offensive coordinator and an offensive line coach. So that should definitely help. They average a lot of points. They're pretty good. They're a pretty good team. If you guys remember when Michigan played them last year, Michigan really almost pulled off that little comeback and won the game. The game would have been crazy if they won. That was like a drop touchdown or a drop 2-point conversion is really the reason they weren't able to do it. They weren't able to tie the game. That game was wild, man. We were close. And I think that started off kind of Michigan turning the season around. So Penn State's good. I understand why they're here, but I feel like they could drop out of 2. I mean, I don't know if I'd have them at 2. I think it's fair to put them at 2, though. I think it's fair when it goes by odds. Michigan then comes in at number 3 with 12-1 odds. Personally, I'm kind of shocked they gave Michigan this good of odds. So I'm going to be honest. I'm a Michigan fan, but 12-1 odds, I'm rocking with that. Like, I'm good with that. We just lost our starting quarterback. And I know some people don't like Shea Patterson. I thought he was good for us. Not the best, but he was good for us. But you still lost your starting quarterback, man, and you don't know who it's going to be yet. Dylan McCaffrey, Joe Milton. We really haven't seen either of these guys start. So there's some question marks there. I mean, Michigan, they have some good weapons. Nico Collins coming back is going to be an absolute beast next year, man. I think he's going to be one of the top college wide receivers for sure. They can still run the ball. They still got some talent, but one part they did lose a lot was that offensive line. They lost a lot of offensive linemen. The defense has been pretty good, man. The man-to-man defense with Don Brown has usually been good for the most part up until we play Ohio State. Then it gets kind of obliterated. But let's not talk about that. Michigan 12-1 odds. I'm happy about it. I'm not mad about that at all. Wisconsin has the same odds at 12-1. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. You know, they were just in the Big Ten championship, but the reason they're not as high is because obviously they lost Jonathan Taylor. And when you lose that great of a running back and you were a run-first team, that's definitely going to hurt. I mean, I know you would think, hey, you know, we got some good running backs, but it's still Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's still one of the best running backs in that class. Dude was beast for years, so they got to try to replace that. They're definitely a run-first team. So, you know, I can respect that they're 12-1. I don't really hate it too much. I could see them being a little bit lower, honestly. I could see them being a little bit lower because they're a little bit like this. And with that loss, I could see them dropping off a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. They're still a good team outside of Jonathan Taylor for sure. Minnesota with 25-1 odds. So I feel like they're getting a little bit of love here. But I think you give them even more love. I think you could give them a little bit more love than 25-1. I mean, Minnesota was on the come up last season. I mean, this team at one point had possibly a chance to make the college football playoffs. All right, maybe they never would have, but they were pretty darn good, man. They were a good team last year. They could pass the football. Minnesota may be onto something. They may be growing something here, okay? I don't know if they're a one-year wonder. They may be onto something. Minnesota, I feel like, could have better odds than that. But you know what? At least they're in the top 5. I feel like that's okay. At least they're in the top 5. They're tied with Nebraska. Nebraska had a young team, right? Nebraska had a young team for a little while, so that's all right. Iowa 75-1 is crazy, man. That team fell off a little bit. That team definitely fell off. They were they ranked in the top 4. I remember that just a couple years ago. They fell off for sure. That was when Willem Spate was our quarterback, right? We lost that game because we missed a field goal or something whack. Then we got Indiana, 125-1 odds. I feel like that's a little low. I feel like I could bump them up, give them better odds, right? I mean, Indiana was 8-5 last year. I mean, it's not crazy good, but it's their best record since '93. All right, so give them that. They seem to be pretty darn good. And I feel like every year, this team, Indiana, every single year, man, is that team you don't want to play. They will push you down to the wire, man. It doesn't matter how trash they are. They're playing you down to that final whistle. They may not win. They usually don't win. That's why they're not recognized as one of their teams. But every year, man, they're going to play you tough. They play Michigan tough every single year, y'all. Every year. And they got some good wide receivers over there. So Indiana, I feel like, could be a little bit higher. I could see them being definitely a little bit higher. Peyton Ramsey over there. So, yeah, man, I can definitely see them being put a little bit higher than what they are now. Let's keep moving now. We got Purdue at 125-1. Man, I haven't paid attention to Purdue in a while. Hey, that's where David Blau came from. Since David Blau beat Ohio State, really haven't even paid attention. I didn't even know that was David Blau at the time. I didn't even know who that quarterback's name was, which is crazy. Northwestern, 250-1. Boy, how they fell off, man. This team was literally in the Big Ten championship game. Yes, they didn't win, but they were there. They were there. I don't think their side of the conference was that good, but they were there. And now they're 251 odds. I mean, that is just crazy. Michigan State, 500-1. Michigan State fans, I'm sorry. I hate to say it, man. 500-1. I feel like it's hard to give them any better odds. They just lost Brian Lewerke as well. They have a couple of quarterbacks, like 3 quarterbacks competing for that spot. I feel like, you know, they got a solid little running game, but Michigan State struggled the last couple of years, man. They ever since they've been to the college football playoff, right? Because they were in that, like, the first year or something, or the second year. They were in it once, I believe, right? I think they were. Either way, I remember the year they beat Ohio State before a couple years ago and stuff, but they've really fell off since then. They've really fell off. So we'll see if they can get back to it, man, because the rivalry last year was tough to watch. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that was pretty bad. I think Michigan State fans can agree. So hopefully it's a better game, but at the end of the day, I'm not mad that we won them. Not at all. Maryland, 500-1 odds. Okay, Maryland. I remember they played Ohio State tough that one year. It came down right down to the end. That was with, I think it was with Dwayne Haskins. That came right down to the end. Illinois, 1,250-1. Wow, I like their coaching, man. I feel like they've set a couple teams. I don't think they're there yet, though. But, hey, they may shock some people. They may be the next Indiana. 1,250-1. That is insane. But, unfortunately, Rutgers is the worst with 2,500-1. You know, I feel like they shouldn't even put them on the list, bro. Just, like, don't add them. And just hope no one notices, dog. Because 2,500-1 is just like, okay, that's not good, bro. 2,500-1, dog. What? Wow. Okay, Alabama. And let's look at the top odds. So the best odds to make the playoffs: Alabama 6-5 odds. What? 6-5? Oh, okay. Georgia 2-1 odds. Hey, Alabama's got a good quarterback. Georgia 2-1 odds. All right. Florida 3-1. Florida. Okay, Oklahoma 7-2, and 5 teams at 7-1. Oregon, Notre Dame, Penn State. Not Notre Dame. Get them out. Texas A&M and Texas. Okay, this could be a different playoffs next year. So comment below, man. What are the 4 playoff teams going to be next year? I mean, way too early predictions. Way too early predictions. At least I gotta say, I feel like Georgia, man. They're a good team. Georgia's built. I put them in there. Alabama. Ooh, that'd be tough. That'd be tough for Georgia if Alabama gets in. You know what? Here's what I'm thinking. Alabama gets in, they're not going to miss again. Alabama's getting back in, all right? I'm trying to think who else will get in. Are we going to see a surprise? It's hard to see a surprise when there's only 4 teams getting in. That's the big problem there. I don't want to say Ohio State, but they'll probably get in. Oklahoma, I can see. I don't know, man. Hey, comment below. Maybe we'll do this when we get closer to the season. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.